maybe The Rock, but I'll 100% go to bat for Face Off any day.
Yeah, well, I want to say thank you for coming down and recording in person still.
Yeah, no, this was fun. This was actually a good call. I'm glad we were able to get together. I know that like the phone was kind of going to be the last resort, and I'm kind of glad that we didn't have to do that.
Yeah, because I wanted you to experience this new. Yeah.
The setup is great. Where we're recording is really fun. This is a really fun place to record. But yeah, the setup with the mics and the new system.
Yeah.
Really cool, man. Really fun. Really legit.
Yes.
Really legit. It's been fun recording with you over the years and kind of seeing your technology and your setup evolve.
Yeah. Thanks for sticking with me through all of this as well.
Thanks for always allowing me on, man. I can't believe that you would put up with me sitting in on the show as much as I do sometimes. I hope that the listeners at least put up with it.
Definitely. Everybody loves you, man. I know you're very humble, but
I'm flattered. Thank you. Don't love me. Love the movies that we're talking about. Check them out if you haven't seen them, if you're not familiar with them. I try to always kind of pick a movie that I want people to watch if they haven't, and hopefully if they have, that they love.
Definitely.
I don't know. You'll have to tell me off air if I've ever had one that's been a miss and that people haven't liked.
Off the top of my head, I'm going to say no. Some movies are harder to discuss than others, but that's nobody's fault.
Or some movies like Strange Days are, I guess, harder to find than others.
Harder to even watch at all, which is a shame. Give us that Blu-ray, or the 4K, whatever it is.
Yeah. Come on, James Cameron. Get off your ass.
Funk Avatar 2.
Or an Avatar 3, 4, and 5 as well.
But, yeah. So, for next month.
Technically April, which will be released on the 1st of April, is my guess. Because we put it off last week because you had some stuff going on.
Yes.
Which is fine by me. Actually, the extra week helped. I had a really long, tough week at work last week. This week was no better, so having the extra week to prepare was helpful anyways. But what we're doing at the end of April, if I'm not mistaken, let me check my notes really quick. I was supposed to do that before we did the show. You can probably cut all this out. No one wants to hear me fumble around for my phone. Or if you want to leave it in, and it'll be funny. Who knows?
The director's cut.
The director's cut. 3 extra minutes of Chris fumbling around for his phone to look at his notes to see what's coming up in April.
Also, just so you know, in that Widows episode, I totally kept that in when you were like, you should watch Widows.
I hope the Widows episode turned out okay. I realized that half of what we recorded got cut. I realized that we were going on lots of tangents. Here's the truth. I don't remember recording half of that show.
Really?
Because I was so fucking tired. I don't remember half of the stuff that we got into or half of the tangents that we got off on. I remember we talked about Amy Adams and sharp objects for like a while.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was a good show. It just needed some trimming, and I don't know how I ended up cutting an hour out of it, but
I just remember at the end you said, oh yeah, we were like just over 2, and then you told me like what the final cut was, and it was like just over 1. I was like, wow, that's like half of the shit that we recorded is gone. But you're the editor. I'm always telling you, if you need to cut something, then cut it.
I just wanted it to move, you know.
Well, I hope it's good. That's a movie that I love, that I'm hoping I turned people on to and didn't turn them off to. I just, thinking back on it, I was like, I was so tired I don't remember doing half of the show.
I'm always open to episode revisits as well.
That might be possible.
Because if you were you know, tired or exhausted, then that can take a toll, and
I had slept like 3 hours or so the night before because I had woken up in the middle of the night and just for the life of me could not get back to sleep before I went to work early the next day. So by 9 p.m. or so when we started to record, I was fried.
Gotcha.
But back to the question at hand, what are we doing in April? We're going to do a foreign film, one of the very few that you've done on this podcast. A foreign film from a director that kind of had his moment and then blew up big in the States. Mm-hmm. I would say a very defining action director, mm-hmm. who a very influential action director. Probably his best movie. I would argue that the movie that he makes 2 or 3 years after this one is probably pound for pound more of a pure action movie. But I think that this movie that we're going to cover in the upcoming weeks is his best film. And one of maybe the last 3 or 4 that he made in his home country before he crossed over stateside. So that'll be my tease. A very influential action movie from a director that was a few years out from crossing over.
Yeah, can't say anything. Damn it.
I might have even said too much.
Maybe. But anyway.
Listeners with very keen ears will probably pick up on who we might be talking about.
It's a foreign film. We don't do them that often. We should probably do them more often. So thank you for bringing one into the fold. Can't wait to discuss it.
I can't wait either. This is a director I've been wanting to talk about for a long time, and his name has been brought up on this podcast from time to time.
Yes.
I don't know. Well, maybe not his name, but his work at least.
Yeah, I would say so. But so before we get out of here, well, it's technically going to be this week, but so we're releasing your episode and then I guess maybe a bonus episode.
Doing a twofer this week.
Twofer, yeah. Putting too much work on my back. But it's all good. It's fun. But we're going to be talking about, for the next episode, Instant Family with Mark Wahlberg and Rose Byrne. And my special guest, the one that chose this focus, is Laura Corona, who is basically a friend of mine digitally. We haven't met yet, but I know her through some other close friends. She's been on, I think we did League of Their Own. I did that with Laura, and it was a lot of fun. So this will be her second episode. So shout out to her if you're listening to this. Thank you for agreeing to do the show, and I can't wait to talk about Instant Family and see what your connection is with it, if that makes sense. So yeah, until next episode, I guess we'll say good fight and good night. Thank you again, Chris.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
No worries.